24 hours after a jury in Austin convicted Sergeant Daniel Perry of murder for killing Black Lives Matter protester Garret Foster, Governor Greg Abbott says he will pardon him as soon as the request hits his desk.
Hey, it's me, Uncle Ricky. I'm gonna try to sound upbeat, but just like I'm dressed a little ugly right now, what I'm about to talk about is the ugly truth. Recently, a murder trial concluded in Austin, Texas, and the jury of peers, 12 Texans in the state of Texas, found one Sergeant Perry, United States Army, guilty of murdering one Mr. Garret Foster during a Black Lives Matter protest. And within 24 hours of the verdict being announced, the governor of the state of Texas, one Greg Abbott, whose politics and social ideals have have always been in question, because Greg Abbott is an obvious supporter of extreme right-wing ideals. In other words, white is right and everybody else shut the fuck up. Now, the thing that makes the Texas situation noteworthy, governors have the right to pardon people, but very rarely do they invoke their right to pardon or announce their intention to pardon an individual before sentence is handed down. That's right, Sergeant Perry was convicted by a jury of his peers in the state of Texas, but he has not been sentenced yet. And Greg Abbott has already told him, no matter what the sentence is, it's a done deal. He's going home, courtesy of me, the motherfucking governor of the state of Texas. Now, why is this such a precedent? One, because Abbott is overstepping his bounds. Abbott is abusing the power of his office, and Abbott is sending a clear message to racists in the state of Texas. Now, before you get all twisted, let's go through a few things. Sergeant Perry was a white dude. Mr. Foster was a white dude. Mr. Foster is an ex-Air Force vet. So why did Sergeant Perry feel free to take this person's life? Well, you got to remember, 2020 was the summer of the Floyd protests, BLM protests. There was an incident in Wisconsin where one slimeball, Kyle Rittenhouse, shot 3 people during a BLM protest. Rittenhouse was white. The 3 people he shot were white. 2 of them he killed. And he walked because of the judge in the case treated it like a love fest for tender little Kyle, murderer of 2 and maimer of 1. It seems that when you say BLM, Black Lives Matter, and I'm not talking about the company, the corporation BLM, that's a whole nother discussion, and they got some shit to answer for. But I'm talking about the sentiment behind the movement, Black Lives Matter. It seems like every time Black Lives Matter is an issue, certain people feel like it is their duty to arm themselves and kill people. Now, they talk about black on black crime, but in both of these situations, even though it was a Black Lives Matter protest, it was white on white crime. It was white people killing white people. In other words, one white individual in a stand your ground stance or idea, I don't know, pretending to protect their rights, protect their property against protesters, decided to kill people that looked like them because they were participating in a protest to elevate the status of black people in America. And it's not like elevating black people above everyone else, it's trying to elevate black people to the status of everyone else, where black people across the country can basically enjoy the same freedoms and rights that everyone else that is white take for granted. Abbott has sent a clear message, just like the judge in Wisconsin sent a message. Fuck around and side with black people if you want to. There ain't no justice for you. We will kill you, just like we intend to kill the black people that you protesting about. They don't matter. We will never allow them to be equal to us. Oh, we'll talk, freedoms, the Constitution, the right to vote. Yeah, we'll let you vote, but under our conditions. We'll kill you whenever we feel like and even if it's not legal, we will make the situation legal. And if we can't do that, somebody in a higher state of governance will make sure you go free. And if you're white and think that black is right, we will consider you a traitor to your own race. And if something happens to you, there will be no justice for you, because we're going to treat you just like a black person. Now, Texas has a bad history of white people killing black people and getting away with it. But in Austin, Texas, in the state of Texas, a jury of 12 decided to let the law be the law and rightfully found this person guilty. Sergeant Perry, was all about, stand my ground in reflections of George Zimmerman. He chose to drive his car through a group of protesters because he felt that he had the right to. Well, if he lives in Florida today, he would have that right, but this is 2020 and it was the state of Texas. There was no law on the books to legalize what he did. Now, when he drove through the crowd, Mr. Foster was with his girlfriend, a black woman. But he was also using the laws of he was also operating under the laws of the state of Texas. He was armed, open carry with a AK-47. And when Perry dove through the crowd with his vehicle, much, like Charlottesville, Mr. Foster used his weapon, or decided to brandish his weapon, in order to stop the madness. Sergeant Perry used his personal sidearm and shot Foster dead. Now, in Texas, I guess they want gunfights like this, but that doesn't mean that Foster was wrong or Perry was right, because the prosecutors in the state of Texas, in Austin, Texas, decided that what Sergeant Perry did was unnecessary. He could have drove around the demonstration. But because Perry believed that his business, a white man's business, was more important than the lives of some people protesting Black Lives Matter. And I mean, this is where the theory behind Black Lives Matter is plain as the nose on your face. White person says white people outweigh black people, and they don't deserve protection, equality, or anything near justice. So he drives his car through. Prosecution says, look, Anybody that was in that protest, whether they were there legally or not, when you drive your car through them, hitting them, maiming them. What about the recent thing up in Wisconsin where the black dude drove through the Christmas parade? Yeah, albeit he was crazy and he deserved to go to jail, but he got what he deserved. Why can't Perry get what he deserves? Because black dude in Wisconsin drove through a predominantly white crowd in a predominantly white area, killed, maimed white people. Perry drives through a Black Lives Matter protest, maims and injures people protesting the inequality of blacks in America, protesting the death of one Mr. George Floyd. So, Christmas parade in a white town deserves justice. Black Lives Matter protests in Austin, even though justice was served through the court system, the governor of the state of Texas says, oh hell no, y'all got to learn your lesson. Black lives don't matter. The verdict was handed down. The sentence hasn't been even handed out, but unlike in the Rittenhouse case, the judge is black. So Abbott proved that he had to put his white hand on the scales of justice, overturn the rightful opinion of the people, and enforce the fact that if you white and you want to agree with blacks, we're going to treat you just like the N-word. Well, that's it for me right now. Peace out and God bless from Uncle Ricky. See you when I see you. Bye.
There are people that are dealing with this and still grieving with this, and people forget that they're humans. I don't agree with this pardon, and I just want justice for Garret, and it's just been too long and too hard to get all the way to this point.